Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever it may be that you are tuning in to this a very special episode of the Horizon Lights podcast. It's the first episode since episode 1 that it's just been myself and Kitsune. So say hello, Kit.
Hi. It also happens to fall on a day where the episode number is the same as the day of the month. So we've got episode 15 on the 15th, and we're doing something a little bit different for this week.
Yeah, part of what we're doing a little bit different is Kit basically took over. I did nothing.
Right. I would have liked to get a couple of people in to sort of announce this too first, but what do you say I kind of announce what the actual title of today's episode is going to be?
Yeah, you can do.
All right. So we don't have anyone on as a guest, except we kind of do, because today what I thought I'd do is, since I'm kind of taking over anyway, we were going to have someone who I'm closer to on as a guest this week, but plans changed a little bit. So today has turned into... I'd do a drum roll, but I don't have the button. So today I'm going to attempt to run a host spotlight with you, Trep. You're the guest today.
You've got to be kidding.
No.
Go on then.
No, I'm not. I'm not kidding. No. I saw the chance and I jumped at it. No, right. So, obviously, we already know we're here. We're on your channel already. God. You see, this is already falling apart. I'm trying to remember what we normally ask our guests at the start.
Well, let me do the intro for the music at least.
And then we'll intro for the music, and then we'll do your intro, figure out and then we'll start asking you some more questions. Go on.
Okay, so as usual, the music we came into was part of the plan. I did notice last week when I was sorting out the VOD for for Twitch, going on over to YouTube, like exporting it. Obviously I watched like the first 10-15 minutes to see if everything sort of sounds okay. I did notice, I was like, hey, hang on a minute, I must be deaf because I'm not hearing the music. But I didn't watch the week before because it was like last minute that I exported it and put it on YouTube. But apparently Kit told me it was the same that week too, because basically the settings were in my OBS that Spotify doesn't come through to VODs and obviously export the VOD. So there you go. That's where the music went for those 2 episodes. I've gone back to the original system of playing the song on YouTube on my stream PC, which is the one that you're seeing in the background. So the one we came into wasn't Reach, it was Limitless, one of my favourite songs that part of the plan have done, and again, as usual, there's part of the plan visual if any of you need it. And since you said now that the guest is basically me, and let me open up my shit.
For those of you who are here live, you could scroll down if you wanted to, just while we're talking through this, or Trep will have it all up on screen, nice and convenient there for anyone who's watching on YouTube. Wonderful.
Okay, there you go. Proceed, Mr. I'm taking over.
It's not like that, okay? Well, it is sort of. So, how long have I known you now? Like 8 months?
Oh,
it's been a little while. So
it's got to been, yeah, it's got to been a while.
Around the time that about a month, maybe a month and a half before you got your second PC, Shroom Fiend.
Nah, it was before that, I think.
Even before then?
Yeah, I was streaming on Xbox for like a month or 2.
Yeah.
With you. I would say it was probably around a month or 2 after I got my stream PC off my cousin. And
maybe, yeah.
I got that like May or June last year. So I'd probably say June, July, maybe August at a push.
Yeah, it's been a while. So how long were you? Because you said you were streaming from on Xbox. You had your stream PC from your cousin, then you got the other thingy game PC
Yeah,
from
the
you.
game PC from
So
Theme.
how long had you been streaming from your Xbox for?
On and off.
On and off.
6 years.
6 years. Well, yeah, I suppose. And before I sort
The
of
first,
restarted recently, I was
yeah,
on and off for about 4 years. So
the first time I like tried to start taking it seriously was when Division 1 dropped.
yeah,
And like there's still clips to this day, I think, on my clips page on my Twitch of me like playing Division 1's campaign or beta or one of the two anyway with Karma, my cousin.
Mhm.
And one of the stream title was legit just helping Karma with the campaign or something like that. Like
yeah,
super generic, streaming straight from my Xbox. And it's funny because like we always hear these people going, "Oh well, I can't stream because I haven't got this PC or that PC, or like I haven't got all this this gear, you know, mic and everything that I now do have."
That's one of the great things about what we do is that you can start from pretty much nothing.
Exactly. And that's one thing I said from day one is like I'm gonna do anything I can to be on the platform and making content, trying to entertain people and have fun with it. If it turns into something, it turns into something. And then when I got the stream PC from Karma, and then I was obviously hanging out with Fiend and you in Fiend's chat more so, and then hanging out with Anubis in his chat, and then all the people that I met through Anubis, like Katie Cat, and I actually met Fiend through Anubis, but and then like there was Grandad Gaming later on down the line, like September, maybe a bit earlier than that. Pigeon, like I was just chilling in all these chats, and I've seen all the people, and I've seen like regular names, like obviously pretty much everybody I've mentioned just there, I've seen you in their chat at some point as well.
Yeah.
So it's like I've seen all these regular names, and I was like, do you know what? That's what I want to do. I want to give people an avenue to build communities together, and that's where this fucking podcast started. Like,
yeah.
I had the idea November, November. I first mentioned it, I think, to Sev. Actually, I turned around and says like, I want to do a podcast. I want to have people who I'm friends with. I want to have people who are streamers that are friends with my friends, and I want to try and bring all these communities that I am in and that my friends are in, that are streamers themselves, or they like collab with these people together and on a podcast, talk to them, get their thoughts and feelings about things, and do things slightly different. As we've been marveled on by, like, we got marveled on it by Wig after the podcast the other week, Noob as well, Solidus Lee, who listens to these like regularly when he's at work, and like when he was on as well, he turned around and says like, dude, this is so different. And then also the week we had Otis and Five Club on, Otis had been on literally the night before, he'd been on the Vibecast with Amaze and Anubis. And it was like, dude, this is gonna be so different. And I'm hoping that Otis gets that and he like enjoys his time still and all this, that, and the other. And thankfully he said, yeah, he did, and he said it's like a great thing that we've got going. It's more, chill, laid back chat, and more their opinions on certain topics rather than who are you and interviewing them, kind of like you are essentially now, like today. Thanks, Kit.
No problem.
I just seen the bot in the chat. I was like, wait, someone said something.
No.
What's
Yes,
funny
at
is
least
because
anyway.
I've got the my page up, it comes up on the right hand side as well, so YouTube can now see that as well. Anyway,
well, now they
but
know
yeah,
what they're missing out on.
yeah. So then, anyway, like that idea came from there. Then obviously, I was in the Legion of Forsaken, and you, I think, was looking for an Xbox clan for Yokai.
I was at
and
the
you
time, yeah.
You was looking for one yourself, and I was like, yeah, come on in, dude. And then we like played, like the three of us basically played together all the time, anytime we was on. So we just got like so close friends, and then it was just like the way I looked at it especially when you like started taking up streaming again more regularly, and then the whole thing with getting raided by Crystal, getting your affiliateship. I was just like, if I'm gonna do this podcast, like I want you to like be my co-host. And so that's why obviously I just hit you up. I says, listen, dude, 2021, let's do this fucking podcast. Like I've had this idea for months. I've had this idea for years. It's just like slowly evolved.
Yeah.
Let's get it done. And your organization has kept me in check. Let's put it that way.
Now I need to keep my organization in check to make sure that we like keep it going, because 15 episodes is pretty good.
Yeah. But yeah, speaking of Odin 5, do you want me to reveal something that I said I would reveal to you, like before?
Yes, I actually do. I'm kind of curious about this now.
Before we started the podcast, Kit said, he has a little bit of a sneaky thing going for this episode, which obviously turned out to be me as the guest.
Yeah.
My little bit of sneaky thing that I told you, and the reason I had to go and get clarification, was that you haven't been on Destiny yet, meaning you haven't seen the invite from Just Wipe It.
Oh! Oh, that's brilliant.
Otis said to me when I went and asked him, is it cool if I sort of like tell you and like announce it on the podcast? He's like, oh, I'm gonna wait until he accepts to tweet it. You know this, right? I was like, yeah, I would do.
Yeah. I'll have to log in later and click the little tick on that. That's great.
But yeah, he DM'd me this morning.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
DM'd me this afternoon, evening, actually, and she says we sent Kit an invite to the clan. So I just put, hey, cool.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. I'll have to log in later and click the tick on that and make sure to thank everyone in the Discord and stuff. I'm going to tweet about it myself later once I've got it accepted and everything.
I will say one thing, because obviously Dares sometimes tunes into my stream, and he's a member of Legion.
Of Legion, yeah. I mean, obviously mentioned to them and stuff.
Yeah, if at any point, like during crossplay happens, I've already said to the Just Wipe It guys, like if any of the Legion guys ask me to help them with shit, I'm on it.
Yeah.
If it comes to a choice between Just Wipe It and Legion, I'm obviously gonna take Just Wipe It because that's the clan that I'm in. But I am game to help any of the Legion guys because of the simple fact of back on Xbox, like back during Season of Arrivals, when I needed a home, they gave me one.
Yeah.
They noticed something in me with regards to the like teaching people raids and having the right mentality and all that shit, like to do that, to basically teach me every part of every encounter and every raid up until that point. And then obviously once Beyond Light came out, until I moved to PC in December, they did the same with Deepstone.
Yeah.
And so I have got the utmost respect for all of them.
Yeah, I mean, they had Oh, did they end up with 3 teams total doing that on day 1?
Yeah. So,
Which is good. Right. So we've sort of gone on a slight sidetrack there, which is great because I'm terrible at doing those. I'm terrible at like initiating, sort of like, oh yeah, let's go off and talk about this, and then finding a way to bring it back. I'm terrible at it. That's why I really appreciate having you on. Not even just like on as a guest. I mean like on and doing the podcast with me every week. But obviously, we've got Destiny. That's one of the focuses of the podcast and stuff. You know, everyone who comes on at least plays it at some point. You know, we played Outriders together. You know, quite a few games actually. But if you try and think back, sort of maybe a little bit further back, like historically, what other games have you played that like you've enjoyed?
I used to stream Call of Duty. Like, back when, like if you look back on, if anybody's on the YouTube channel watching this, like, if you look back on my YouTube stuff, if you look at playlists, there's actually a couple of playlists I've made, which is like era 1 of my channel, era 2 of my channel, era 3 of my channel, and I'm telling you now, Rising Lights and everything that's going to be uploaded at any given point from this point on is all going into like an era 4, because you know it I feel like it shows different evolutions of where I sort of made changes and essentially where I came from. You know what I mean? And I like having that as a sort of record. But yeah, if you look back at like era 1, some of the stuff is abysmal. Let's put it that way. And it was
You gotta start somewhere.
It was Warframe on PC. And it's actually using a PC worse than what I've got now as a stream PC. Then there's like Advanced Warfare gameplays, and then there's Call of Duty Clan Wars like gameplays. And the Clan Wars things were sort of really what started it all off. Is I ran, which I think is partly what sort of prepared me for what happened with the Legion when it came to Bruce leaving.
Yeah.
And it was then essentially left down to the admins to take over, and then the Sherpa team to be like the admin's second in command. You know what I mean? I think that's what prepared me for that. Was I ran my own clan called, at the time it was called Nightmare Gaming, and then we moved, like after an issue with one of the members, we changed name to Synapse Gaming. So, hey, there's Otis in the chat.
Hey, there he is. Hey, Otis. Alright.
So yeah, and then there was like, so there's a couple videos in there from my friend Pash, who like showed off us basically dominating in Advanced Warfare Uplink. Then there's me. First time I played on an Xbox One, I destroyed a lobby, and it was just like I was playing on an Xbox 360, even though the controllers were a little bit different. That was pretty funny. Then there's like a couple videos from my cousin where he got like in the arena mode, which was Black Ops 3's like esports mode. He got a couple great kills and stuff, and you know, it was just showing off how good the clan was. And then also Destiny 1, where we all met. Obviously me and Carmen knew each other before that, but Destiny 1 cycle Atheon on the 390 weekly featured raid, like, so it was just like showing all different things that we were capable of. And it was something we wanted to do, and kind of what the vibe I get from Otis and them as well with regards to Just Wipe It is they wanted to take the name and thrust it into the limelight, essentially. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sort of like show, hey, we're here. This is what we do. These are all the amazing people that we've
Yeah.
got.
Hence my tweet. I think was it yesterday. Yesterday. I was playing with Dunes and Lee, and I clutched in Apex, and I literally just tweeted, "This is how we do it in Just Wipe It. Play smart, play fast, clutch the fuck up for the squad." Like, that's literally what I just typed out. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna tell motherfuckers we're here.
Right. I'm starting to run out of questions for you, so I'll figure some out as we go along. But first Twitch topic. Some good news in terms of
The one that I spotted.
The one that you spotted, yeah, it was a very, very good spot. You caught this before I did. But yeah, they've been monitoring the rise of fake engagement on Twitch and identified 7.5. It's 2 M's, so I don't know if that's like millions of millions, or if that's a typo and it's just 7.5 million plus.
I'd imagine it's a typo.
Yeah. Twitter, give me an edit button. But yeah, breaking the test.
We were talking about this though, weren't we? With who was it? Was it Lee? No, I can't remember. We talked about it on one of the episodes anyway. It was on about how like it is such an issue, and we had a piece that was on about how many bot accounts were banned by
I think that was actually
large streamers like Pokimane.
Yeah, that was last week. We might have had a piece on about 6 weeks ago. But
yeah. Last week with Wig, yeah.
But this is a big move from Twitch.
Yeah. We were basically saying though last week with Wig, how can this happen with someone big like Pokimane and then not notice? And it shows they have noticed. They've just been trying to work on it behind the scenes, and now they're managing to get rid of it. Some people have actually been saying like they've actually gained followers, which is kind of weird. And speaking of gaining followers, I want to say after I went offline the other day, Miss KK from Just Wipe It followed me, so thank you. And Nagurski, who I met through I want to say Wig, but I'm not sure. No, I met him through Crisscross. He was in Crisscross's chat. He also followed me, so I appreciate that. And that put me to 250. So we could, special. I don't know what to do for it, so I'll have to think of something.
Well, yeah, nice little milestone there.
Yeah,
which is always good news. And what is a very good thing is I was going to sort of ask you about this is maybe not necessarily your channel, because obviously you hit the milestone there. You actually got people following you and stuff, so you haven't been like follow botters and stuff. But have you seen many people who've lost like maybe not like a noticeable chunk of their followers, but like a few?
No, I haven't. But one thing I will say is like I've noticed, with regards to some of the bots, we had them going around the other month when you, me, and Fiend were all like streaming regularly. We all had like proper schedules we were sort of sticking to, and it was basically I finished, raided either one of you two, because you basically just started when I finished because I was going to fetch my kids from school. Well, at that point, just my son. So you're talking probably like November, back when we were last not so tied down by a lockdown. But yeah, like basically those ones, they didn't actually make a difference to our like following numbers. So it would come up saying they followed, you'd get the notification and all that, and it would come up in the Twitch activity feed, but it was almost as if they followed and unfollowed instantly, because in your Twitch stats, your follows wouldn't actually go up. How you knew it was a bot, and you could just not even entertain it and say thank you, do you know what I mean? I did feel bad, though, sometimes when someone had a name that was similar.
Yeah.
Because I was leaving saying thank you until I saw the stat number go up. Because I was like, well, if it's that similar, if it doesn't go up, it's a bot. Like, but I know for a fact, like, pretty much everybody I hang out and chill with, Otis, Lee, Dune, Anubis, Pigeon, like, pretty much anyone you'll see me in a chat, even if I'm lurking and you're looking at, like, viewer list, anyone that I sort of associate with in that regard is happy, about things like this, because if they have been follow botted, good riddance to bad rubbish. They didn't need that fake milestone bump. You know what I mean? This is the thing. Like, people, and I know it's been covered before, but I feel like people don't realize the issue with regards to these, like, follow bots and view bots. View bots, you're pushing yourself up the directory, right? So yes, you're gonna get more real people come in, but as soon as people see there's nobody talking in chat, no interaction and the shit with regards to you and your chat, because the people there aren't fucking real, let's put it that way. They're gonna be wise to your shit and gonna be like, all right, well, this is a fake ass streamer. You're robbing yourself of organic growth, essentially, because people are just gonna instantly know you and know your name and your branding, and to the point people will get to know your voice. So even if you change your fucking name, the likelihood is, and try to grow on organically, the likelihood is people will turn around and go, oh, I recognize this voice. Oh, this is that motherfucker. You know what I mean? And then with follow bots, there are people who will follow bot themselves because, oh, if I follow bot myself to 50 followers, I can get my affiliate. Yay! No, again, you're robbing yourself of organic growth. Not only your channel organic growth by those numbers, but yourself. I am a miles better streamer now than I was when I had 20 fucking followers. And I've got 250 people who follow me. Like,
well, that's
do you know what I mean?
See, that's the problem I've got with followers as a metric. Even if you manage to get rid of every single, like, non-person follower, is that it kind of makes sense. You've got people who come in and they leave a follow and they go, okay, that person is, you know how many people have got you on a list of people they could watch regularly.
Yeah.
That's great. But as a metric, also gauging the size of your community, it's like, that's probably what it is at peak. But you're never going to be at that peak. You're probably going to be at, like,
it is. It can be quite, like, disheartening. It can be quite disheartening for people. Personally, I'm gonna be here either way, whether there's 0 fuckers here or all 250 of you guys. Like, I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna hit that button because I like to do it. I like showing people my personal, like, skill for a game, my personal knowledge for a game, my entertainment in the game. A lot of the time it can be kind of hard, especially because I don't use the camera, that people even know I'm here, other than the fact that the game is playing, because I do struggle sometimes to narrate what I'm doing and all that. Like, I do my very best, but so it can be so it can be kind of disheartening to look at a number like what I've got, 250. I think Fiend is up at like 800 and something, maybe. I'd have to look it up, and I don't want to. So for people who have that number, it can be quite disheartening if you are trying to make a thing of this, to go, look, there's 250, as you said, there's 250 people who have got me on a list somewhere. of people they could watch, but there's not 250 people in my chat. You know what I mean? It can be. The thing I would say, and the thing most people would say, is don't look at that number.
Yeah.
But and the only reason I have that showing in my OBS, and the same reason I have my views showing, like how many people have popped in and viewed the channel, or whatever the Twitch, thing is, 5,037 at this point, isn't like, oh, well, I've had that many. It's okay, so these many people have popped in, like, and it does count repeated people. So if Kit leaves my chat and comes back, he adds another one to it. So, somebody could have been here 5,037 times, and that's why I've got 5,037 views. It doesn't bother me. But for me, seeing that going up, even if I'm not getting people talking in my chat and lurking, like, fine. But seeing that number go up is saying to me, okay, there are people that come in, there are people that lurk, there are people that chill and hang out and want to see something out of me. Whether that me make this thing go, Leviathan sized, or they just like chilling with me because I've got cool banter or whatever. Like, whatever the case may be. And the same with the followers list. Like, I look at that 250, I'm like, wow, there's 250 people who have come in this chat and gone, this guy seems like a cool guy. I'm gonna hang out here. I'm gonna hit the follow button. So if I ever want to come back, I can easily come back, and that's all I ask. I don't expect everybody to be here all at once. I don't expect everyone to come in. And the same thing for, like, my friends, you know what I mean? They don't, like, I know you don't expect me to be in your chat all the time, even though I'm a mod there. Like, we all have lives, is my point. So people aren't always going to be in your chat. So that's the thing of, keep an eye on that number, because you can celebrate the milestones. Like, I've just said, oh, yay, 250. I don't know what to do for it, but we'll do something.
Yeah.
I can celebrate the 250 as a milestone. I last celebrated 100. And my next one I will celebrate will probably be 500 if we ever get there.
Nah, what do you mean if? Come on.
I mean, the way I say it is if, because you never know what'll happen tomorrow, 3 weeks down the line. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, that's a bit of a grim response. But
yeah.
I'll accept it.
My point being, anything could happen to the channel.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be playing fucking DMCA non-free, like, music that I'm strickening from my VODs, and Twitch could come in and live strike me, like, haha, motherfucker. Boom, channel gone. I don't think it actually works like that, but it's might as well.
They do usually come in and live strikes on, like, not necessarily larger channels, but more problematic channels.
Yeah. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is celebrate the milestones, but don't focus on that number. And
that is a great mindset to have, and it pairs wonderfully with the next topic.
Ba-da-da!
It's almost planned it, but don't worry, we didn't plan it.
Yeah, like I literally put the picture I sent to Kit, who, because he tweeted it out, because obviously he was taking over. We didn't plan this, and he literally DM'd me back saying, "That is fucking brilliant." I think that was your words anyway.
That was my exact word, and like, I sort of quoted it. I was like, "That's fucking brilliant. It's great." Anyway, if you refer to yourself as a small streamer, why?
Yeah, and I was like scrolling through Twitter, and I think somebody retweeted this. Either that or somebody somebody I followed commented on it, and
a lot of the responses to this and the way this guy's sort of come back and replied to them as well, if you have a look at some of those, is actually great. You know, some of them have sort
this
of...
is why I sent it you and said I want to include this. Is because I was scrolling Twitter on my phone, and I was like, I can put things in the doc, but it's problematic. And so it was like I was reading through all these like responses, and then like you said, the guys responding back to them, and it's like it made me think: do I consider myself a small streamer? But why do I commit my like? Do you know what I mean? And the way I thought about it was, I consider myself a small streamer because of my, my following and my average viewership numbers, and metrics that Twitch themselves essentially put in place. You have to hit these metrics to get affiliate. You have to hit these metrics to get I think it actually said in one of these responses to hit partner and all this, that, and the other. And it was like, do you know what? I have that, but I also have like the big aspirations, and the big aspirations spawn great things, at least from what we have been told, like the podcast. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, if I didn't have the aspirations of drawing my friends' communities together so that we can all bounce off of each other, so that if one night Lee turns around and goes, I'm not live, they could come and watch you if you're live. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And it's people that might never have found you at all, other than, oh, well, Lee was on Trep's podcast.
Yeah.
And vice versa. Like,
and things, yeah.
Yeah. So that's what...
Get the web going.
Yeah. The aspiration was to start the podcast. And boom. We've, like I said earlier today, like earlier on this episode as well, like, we've had countless people who have been on, who have turned around to us and said, yo, you guys doing fucking bang up job. It's great fun to be on, and it's like, so chill. And, thanks for having me on and all this. Like, they're taking time out of their day to come and talk to us. I think we're proving with this episode alone, and the episode at the beginning, number 1, where we both sort of introduced ourselves, that we'd be here talking about this shit anyway, just amongst ourselves. It's them that are taking time out of their day to like essentially grace us with their presence, and that's why we always like to thank everyone to be on. And yeah, obviously it's nice that they thank us for inviting them on, but it's and I know the reason they thank us is because it's like, oh well, it's nice for them to know that they're in somebody's thoughts, and they want, like, we want their perspective on things, you know what I mean?
Their thoughts, their opinion, their reactions to things sometimes.
Yeah. But
and on the topic of that, it's not necessarily in the doc and things, but it sort of struck me just before that I was going to mention it, and now it's eluded me. For God's sake, it was right on the tip of my tongue before as well. I was about to say it, and then we were talking about something else. Oh, right, yes. When you said about big aspirations and things, it's like, we're now, episode 15?
Yeah.
That's not too far off a third of a year. There's only 2 more to go until we'll have had a full year of running this podcast, right? And, like, I've had a blast so far, right? And I'm looking forward to seeing, like, what topics come up, with the rest of the year, who we can have on as guests and things. But again, with sort of tying it back to this, what's on screen here is sometimes, and I kind of see some of this being brought up during the back and forth of the responses and things, is that there are sort of numerical or metrical reasons, or like I'm just looking at it as a hobby or whatever, as to sort of taking on a label like a small streamer. But then it's a mindset thing, like you were saying before, about sort of looking at a number, but then not really focusing on the number and doing whatever you would be doing anyway.
Exactly.
You know,
And there's another thing. The hashtag support small streamers just correlates that. It correlates the mindset this guy's trying to get people to think, oh shit, I shouldn't be in that mindset. When he's saying stuff like right here, someone really responds with, because my community is under 100, I'd still consider myself that small community, that a small community even. And he says, fair point, and despite your view number, you're not a small streamer. Whenever I hear that, it makes me feel like the streamer is undervaluing their own work up until that point, if you get me. I feel like you are as successful as you decide you are. I fucking resonate so hard with that.
And I was going to say, further on from that, is that if you decide to take on a label like a small streamer, at what point do you decide to free yourself from that label, sort of remove the shackles or whatever? Because if you've got the mindset of like I'm small, do you then like limit yourself as to like who you communicate with, the kind of content you decide to create?
Yeah.
Sort of limits your aspirations a little bit. Or you've got like like you were saying before, you like look at the number but don't really think about it. In that, if you've got something that you want to do and you want to push towards doing that, go ahead and do it.
I mean, I'm guilty of it myself. Like, there's people I want to have on here that I've not reached out and asked because I'm thinking, oh shit, this person might think I'm just trying to like grab hype from them onto my channel. Do you know what I mean? But one of those people was Chaps 28, and another one was Grandad, Grandad Gaming. But I'm in their communities, and I asked them flat out in DMs, and they both turned around and went, yeah, sure. At some point, love to be on. The point I'm trying to make is, if you have the mindset of, oh, I'm small, as you said, Kit, you are shackling yourself. Yeah? If there is somebody you want to work with within the streaming space, whether you have one follower, or maybe not, because you probably like just brand new and only just started you, unless you've been in people's communities and you've got a reputation within somebody's community and are known. Like, I go into Grandad's stream and go, yo, what's up, GG, and like 4 or 5 people instantly, yo, what's up, Trep, like in his chat, because they know me. And it's like that with a few others. Definitely all of the just wipe it once. Hey, this is back from Sud. And it's like, so don't necessarily turn around and go, okay, I'm a reach out to this person to work with them and collab and co-stream, because their following would come over to mine, and once they know I stream, and I'm gonna make it big, blah blah blah. No, because this is not the right way to do it. I stand by the reason I am like such good friends with people like Lee, Dune and everyone in Just Wipe It, and then I'm still friends with majority of the people who like I chilled with whenever I was in Favored, is because I made friends with them. It wasn't oh, okay, I'm gonna butter you up so that you raid me, and your community will become part of my community as well. It's, you're my friends, and if you choose to bring your people over here, great. If you don't, oh well. Do you know what I mean?
It's less about maybe bringing your community to them or bringing their community to you, and more about like, hey, listen, let's game. I want to spend some time with you.
Well, this is the thing as well. Like, for me raiding somebody, like whenever we raid someone after this podcast, it's me saying to them, we did it with Noob before he got his affiliate. We went over to try and help him with his affiliate. And it was me turning around and saying, look, I enjoy your content and I support you in the endeavor of trying to hit said milestones for said labels like affiliate, like partner. Do you know what I mean? That's why I like tab up for Pigeon pretty much every time he's live. Even if my computer turns around and goes, okay, I can't handle you streaming and watching Pigeon at the same time, I open him up on my phone. Because it's me adding that number to him to get him his average of 75 to hit the partnership requirement. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's somebody I believe in deserves that, you know, to hit that milestone. And as Amaze turns around and says, and rightfully so, because I ever since I heard him say this, I have fucking tried to live by the mantra of the check mark is a checkpoint. And I did I did basically the same thing now with my affiliate ship. It's like, that was a checkpoint, the next one is check mark, and then that's a checkpoint, and I've got to make myself, you know, who I am in that time from here to the checkpoint.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So,
and then essentially, go on. I was just gonna say, literally, like, what I'm saying is make an organic friendship. Don't make fake friends. Like, fake friendships will get you fucking nowhere. Let's put it that way.
If anything, they'll get you dropped.
Yeah. And not only will they get you dropped real fucking fast, but I'm friends with Otis. So if Otis turns around to me and says, "Oh, so and so made fake friends with me because they want to try and like use my community to bolster their own," he's gonna tell me, "I know your name. I'm never gonna do anything with you." He's also then gonna tell, you know, Dunes, 5, Crisscross, Miss KK, basically, you know, everybody that streams in Just Wipe It. They're probably never gonna work with you either. So therefore, you've just lost out from you being fake as fuck to one person. You lost out on like 10 to 15 people. Because he's not only, he's going to tell, as he's just put in my chat, he's going to tell Anubis, he's going to tell Lee. The list is hella fucking long of people that we will all connectively tell that you have just fucked up. And then that person, those people, 9 times out of 10, ain't gonna fucking work with you. And guess what? You just shot yourself in the fucking foot.
Yeah. So, going on from checkpoints and celebrating milestones, the next topic, sort of brief, really. Main focus is the headline. So that.
Another focus I would add is that it made it into mainstream news.
News, yeah. It's like what you would, not necessarily a proper news outlet, but you know, it's a slightly more reputable site than just like, oh hey, this is what's going on in our corner of the internet, sort of thing. But yeah, so his Ludwig Subathon managed to last 31 days, and that's not the record that was broken.
Yeah, we covered it when it started, right? It was going for a week when we covered it. Yes, he slept. He just left it going, basically.
So in the picture that's on there, you can see the sort of like I don't know what the name of the character is. There's like a red racing car, like bed behind him, and he just leave the camera on and go off and change camera and stuff, obviously. But he like get ready for bed and then get in bed and sleep.
But yeah, he did sleep, Otis. He went into the bed and just people watched him sleep, essentially. At least that was my understanding.
Quite a few times it's got down to like the last hour, and then he's had like another wave just thrown at him.
I think it's funny as well because he done it by 10 seconds. Do you imagine if you turn around and went, okay, each sub does an hour? Like, that is fucking stupid long. I mean, he's referred to as one of the Leviathans. You know, he's spoken to Harris Heller in interviews on the Alpha Gaming channel on YouTube. So you know, is I would say he's up there in the Twitch hierarchy anyway. So
Well, if it wasn't already, he certainly is now.
yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah. So 269,154 Twitch subscribers was the number he beat. I don't know
And
the actual.
he did it for charity as well.
Yeah, the last day, any of the was it the yeah, so any of the final day subscriptions, I think, because by the time you get to 31 days, it's a little bit, sort of taking the piss. So I think on the last day, he did, instead of adding 10 seconds, the entire value goes to charity.
That makes sense.
But that is a lot of time.
It's funny because he started streaming 2 days after my birthday, and we're talking about it like you said a month later. Like it's actually fucking, and not even a month. Well, actually, yeah, it was a month yesterday.
Huh?
It's 14th of March to the 14th of April. Yesterday was 14th of April.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's actually nuts.
I mean, you can see there the timestamp of when it was published. You're like, when I was double checking the list as things to add. 5:20 yesterday. Later than then. So from sort of a very large successful thing, onto something that's probably won't take off the ground as much. And this surprised me very much. Someone is named Inzana, Tim Inzana, claims that he will live stream himself inside a shed 24/7 for a full 5 years for individuals paying $5 million for a framed TV essentially on their wall that would just play that stream the entire time. And he's trying to sell it as sort of like living art, essentially.
What? So I'm confused. Is he paying people?
No. So he's saying if people would buy, if people buy this service, we'll call it in sort of the air quotes, from me, I will stream. I will be live on this camera 24/7 for 5 years for you.
Who the fuck's got $5 million to just throw at a dumbass like this?
The same people who back a lot of the obvious fake things on the things that would never work, can not possibly feasibly happen. Things like
this is a lot of people.
Yeah, the kind of people who would back a company that claimed they're going to get free water from the air using a dehumidifier somewhere where there's no humidity.
He's already spent 100 days in the shed to show that he's serious about his mission.
Yeah.
Oh god, I love some of these topics sometimes. The fucking stop sign was the first one. Made me laugh.
So while we're talking about things that people are probably never going to buy, or
oh god,
the next topic is something that people will probably actually buy. So if you don't know
Peloton with a TV screen,
Peloton, basically, yeah. So if you don't know what Peloton is, it's basically like an exercise bike with a Zoom call on a screen, with other people using the bike. And
just put bro, was he? Yeah. I would get that.
Yeah, but so here's the thing: is if you scroll down a bit to the next image, so you see those handlebars.
Yeah.
That's a games controller.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Scroll down past that. There you go.
That's fucking X, B, and Y.
play games. You can watch Twitch. You can you go on your Netflix and whatever while you're there cycling on your bike.
What the actual? The new Peloton is priced at $2,500.
Yeah.
Fucking entry level's nearly $2,000. Holy shit!
Essentially,
No back button though. That's a deal breaker. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Oh, you lot try to kill me.
All right. Well, that's the sort of let's have a laugh ones out the way. Need your paddles. Yeah. Well, it's got triggers. It doesn't have anything. It doesn't have yeah.
They'd have done a better job if they made the fucking screen touchscreen. Let's face it. Just had it as essentially like
Probably
a mobile game.
It's what the way I look at this, right, is essentially. Have you seen the sort of gaming Windows 10 tablets that you can get?
No.
It's essentially a Windows 10 tablet with a little cradle that's got a controller sort of split across either side of the cradle. And you slide the tablet in, and it kind of like plugs in like an Xbox controller. And it's where's
I mean, he's got a point. You can move, but you can't aim. What the fuck?
No, right. You can only move forward or backward, and you cycle to do it.
Oh god,
you use to turn.
That's actually genius. As I commented it on Anubis's tweet about like scaling mats for bounties or whatever. I forget what it was. I meant to actually grab that for the doc, but anyway, I said genius, send tweet. That's the tweet, send tweet. Because that idea, riding to go forward and backwards, genius. But there's no strafing. Hey, thanks.
Let's grab a copy of that then.
And I will switch to this one. Nope. This one. And then refresh. Or not.
Oh, I didn't use help. Come on. Let's try refreshing without the cache. Okay, you know what? We'll give it a few minutes and we'll look at the next thing.
One sec.
This next one's kind of slightly more serious than the last couple that we were looking at. You good?
Yeah, I'm just seeing if I can load it up.
Fair enough.
Nope, I can't. Right, okay.
Try again in a bit. We'll have a discussion about this first.
Oh, wrong fucking one. There we go.
It's the last thing on there. Here's essentially things that aren't Destiny. But yeah, French politicians turn to Twitch in hope of connecting with youth. Basically, there was, I think they're doing like a, where was it? They were discussing something on Twitch, and they were like, you know what, we've had better reactions from this than we have every other way we've tried to like run these discussions from like the younger demographic. And here we go. So just after a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
No matter what platform you use, so it's a double-edged sword. So yeah, so the two politicians who were doing this discussion on Twitch, sort of had like different time slots or whatever. But because they had two different ways of addressing the platform, like using it, like addressing the users and stuff.
Yeah.
One of them was wildly more successful at getting responses and stuff than the other, because one of them like did what we do, right? Talked with people in chat, sort of, followed the unwritten rules of being live on Twitch. Things that you do without really thinking about it. Sort of how the platform works. And the other treated it more like a press briefing.
Yeah.
If you've got someone like sort of going back and forth and talking about some of these topics and sort of getting opinions and stuff from chat, or if you had someone literally just sat there reading off a sheet and just throwing information at you, you're obviously going to like pay more attention to the former.
Yeah, for damn sure. Like for me, I'm gonna be turning around and going, "Well, I don't. The information you could be giving me is probably the most important information in my life. Like you could potentially be saving my life. But you reading to me boring as fucking all hell. I'm gonna not listen because like I'm gonna get bored real quick. I'm gonna bye. Do you know what I mean? The guy is having a laugh and a joke, and like you said, doing the as it says here, adapted to the codes of the platform. Literally says it right there. I'm gonna take his information on board because it's like, oh well, he's making it fun and enjoyable. And I think that's what a lot of politicians don't realize when they get in on these like news briefings and stuff. The reason that a lot of the young people don't have any, interest in politics, they don't want to change the world by getting into politics. There are a few, don't get me wrong, but not everybody wants to do that. Is because the 20 to 30 fucking minutes they're listening to you just read off a fucking press briefing, they could be playing a game, they could be outside with their friends. Hell, like, it's illegal here in the UK, but they could be outside smoking a fucking cigarette or a doobie, a blunt, whatever you want to fucking call it. Like, and then when you get to like teenage years, 18 and plus, the actual target audience, because they're the people that are voting, they're not interested anymore because they're like, oh, dealt with these boring ass bastards half my life. Like, you know what I mean? People just go in and vote for who they think won't. And I heard this the other, I think it was actually during the US election, where obviously Biden won. People nowadays aren't necessarily voting for the people who they think will run their particular constituency, their country, or in our case we have like local councils, local governments in general, in other countries as well. They're not necessarily voting for the people who they think will do the best job of that. Rather, they're voting for the people who they think will fuck them over less. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And
so they're not in UK terms. They're not voting for Boris Johnson or I don't even know who is the Lib Dems fucking leader nowadays, but not voting for them in our sort of cities, mine and yours, that are like, I'm Midlands, you're up north, like, we're more working class. When they're going, ha ha, wah, 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 hoity toity, you're posh, like the way we would see it. Oh, they're posh. They haven't. The way that we look at it, most people, anyway, from like areas that I'm from in Nottingham originally, well, or where I spent most of my life growing up, we won't look at it as, oh, this is some posh motherfucker. It's like they have no way of knowing what's best for us because they haven't lived like us. And so we'll all vote for the motherfucker who potentially lived like us, the one that's turning around and going and saying, oh, I'm going to establish. So Jeremy Corbyn, I'll use him as an example. He's not the leader now of the Labour Party, but I'll use him as an example. We're more likely to vote as a working class member of society myself. I am more likely to vote for Labour, who's somebody who's going to turn around and go, oh, I want to put in basically what we have with the NHS, but in education terms. So if you want to go to university, you can go. And then just pay it back when you've got, the job, sort of thing, to go with that. because there's a lot of people getting a lot of student debt, you know, and they carry that debt for the rest of their life because they never get to a job where they can afford to pay that debt back. Hey, Nagurski.
Yeah.
And so the way I look at it is like, if somebody's going to turn around and say, oh, well, we're going to give you an avenue to have further education that you might not necessarily have the access to because of where you were raised, where you were born, whatever it may be, you know, in circumstances, why would you not take that with both hands? The same thing with NHS. There are people who live in the US that have citizenship over here that will literally, when they need something doing operational wise, rather than spending a bomb in a hospital over in the US, they'll just come back here, get it done for free, and then off they go back to the US because they've got the NHS essentially on tap. Do you know what I mean? So why would you not use that?
Yeah, it's especially when if they like grew up here and everything, it's something that just sort of not even necessarily take for granted, but you're used to being there, you know, being available.
Exactly. So this is what I'm saying with regards to these guys. If somebody is going to turn around and go, okay, I'm gonna try my very best to do whatever research. You might have done research into Twitch. You might have just like adapted on the fly when people came into chat and started like telling jokes and shit. Do you know what I mean? Taking the piss. Because let's face it, kids are gonna, youngers are gonna take the piss out of politicians. Let's face it.
Yeah. So I'll sort of a bit of both. So obviously the way it's been worded in this, I think he probably has looked into the way people use the platform, and then gone, okay, well we can do that, and then they're bound to have a crack at me anyway. So if we can just roll with it, and then progress from there.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna. Oh, why is that? Oh God, hang on. Just doing something here. In terms of what I was just saying before, when you were saying about the dual citizenship thing and the NHS and blah blah blah, things being available, the TWAB is available, and the link that I had in the doc, we skip over that because it's in the TWAB anyway.
Oh, this one.
Yeah, it's that page anyway. But yeah, there we go. This week at Bungie. Yeah, there's more useful info in the TWAB than there is that page. That's just the usual landing page. It's like, hey, this page is now available.
Okay. But yeah, the point like last thing I'll say on this is, like I said, if they're gonna do more things like this, then they need to be more free flowing with regards to having more people who are going to either research what Twitch's, you know, unspoken rules are in regards to how you stream on Twitch, and not someone doing a fucking press release. And even if it's like you specifically hire somebody to come on to your team and say, okay, we're going to have this person put in front of the camera to live stream policy giving shit, you know what I mean? If you're going to turn around and say, this is what we're going to do, and have this person put it on Twitch so the young people can get the information they need, but then they've also got somebody who understands the platform giving them the information in a way that makes it fun for them, so they're not resenting politics. And that is how you bring up the next generation of politicians and make sure that your current, you know, era of young people who are about to be voters or maybe just become voters are making the most well-informed decision about who runs their country, rather than, oh, well, this guy's not going to fuck me over as much, I'll vote for him. When in actuality, politicians tend to fuck you over either way. So, but yeah, like that was my like last point on it, is they need to evolve and adapt and not just stay stuck in the Stone Age, essentially. And before we cover the TWAB,
okay,
I am going to cover your little fucking challenge you do every Iron Banner.
That particular loadout has taken it a little step further than I did last time, and it was specifically because I really didn't want to be wearing that mask again. I hate wearing that. So what I do is every time that Iron Banner comes around, and the week we recorded this was an Iron Banner week. It's a critical game mode for those of you who don't know, where your power score matters.
This number right here, which says 1248 on the screen.
That includes, in fact, the actual number for in the game is a little. But what happens is the weapons that I have equipped there, the white and green slots, they are significantly lower than the rest of my gear, so they bring my entire average down. Last time I did this challenge, it was just the primary weapon, and then I had a helmet that had 0 power. Now that lowers my power more, so it kind of depends on how you want to sort of tweak it to make it as challenging or not challenging as you like. But the whole point is I prefer playing Iron Banner like that, because one, if I get one shot by someone with an overpowered like hand cannon or arse rush with a shotgun, then I'm just going to get one shot anyway. So it changes the game for me into less thinking, okay, how can I use my loadout to beat this guy in a 1v1 or whatever, and more, okay, how can I position myself to avoid being shot in the first place? Because if I do get hit by anything, I'm dead.
Can we get private matches, Bungie, where I can enable light level thing? Like, I want a 1v1 kit with this loadout.
Now, the other half of that is sort of looking at performance. Is kind of challenging when you've got something like this going on, but it's also fun to see how the rest of the teams are balanced, depending on because.
Here's one thing. One question I have got to ask you, Kit.
Okay.
Well, 2 questions actually. 3? Yeah. Let's make it 3. So the first one. You're a hunter main, and yet you decided Warlock this time.
Yes, I've been playing on Warlock more this season, so I felt more comfortable moving.
Okay. Question 2. I hope to good God this Arc subclass is Chaos Rage. Because because you know I am Cult of Chaos.
You are up there in the Cult of Chaos. I've only initiated, so yeah.
Okay.
That was 2 and by my account.
So question 3, the third one. What made you pick Ophidian Aspects over Geomags?
I had them equipped already.
Oh, okay.
So basically, I had them equipped. I had them masterworked, and basically, I just have them on for reload speed, really. Because that's 1, what they do, and then 2, obviously, I've got mods on top of that to deal with. Because put it this way, I'm going to need more than 1 mag to deal with anybody, so I want as little downtime as possible.
But yeah, so there's Kit's little challenge. He does it every banner since Arrivals, right? Like it was the last one in Arrivals was the first one you did it.
Now I'm not going to say that I'm doing this because I'm great at PvP and I need a handicap or whatever, right? Look, the results with this loadout, and that's his kills and assists over deaths, right? Efficiency. 13 assists. That's efficiency at 0.68.
Well, one thing. What's the thing you always say when it comes to you being? When people say you're good at PvP, you say there's a reason that you've got enraged in your name.
Yeah. There's a reason for the first half of my name. Although it's not so bad with this because I'm expecting it.
Exactly.
So I just kind of laugh when it happens. What really made me laugh was this game. So I'm normally like bottom of the team, sort of second bottom of the team, right?
Yeah.
I had 10 kills or assists this game, But because on this map I'd got a little bit better at sort of positioning myself so that I wasn't getting shot all the time, I had a combat efficiency of 1.43.
Hey. Oh, which was it? Was it last Iron Banner or the Iron Banner before that? Where you actually got somebody we know
Last one, yeah. That
with
was
the cover stuff.
I always look forward to that. Is if I match against anybody that we know, as bad as it is given the loadout and how like I'm weak to anything, I want that kill. Like anytime I manage to get the finishing blow and it comes from and says they were killed by the Kvostov, I relish it. It's brilliant.
So one thing I will say, if for whatever reason, you're a UK based content creator that we know, like Pigeon, Tobean, Obi Katie Cat. If you see Kitsune on the opposite team, know that he kills you with that Kvostov. He is getting orgasm levels of enjoyment out of it. Which you did get Tobean, didn't you? Was it last? Was that who you got last time? Toby? Kit. Hello. I think. Oh, there we go.
Wrong pedal. I spun my chair around and I ended up like pushing my middle pedal down instead of my right pedal. Anyway, yeah, it was last time round when I did it, and it was Toby. We were both live, and like sort of I popped into his chat and said hi. He popped into my chat and said hi, and followed because somehow I'm pretty sure he'd already been followed before then.
Yeah, Twitch does take people away sometimes. It's fucking stupid.
Twitch does weird things when we're not looking.
I mean, it's to the point where Witty, Witty Cough, who we had on the podcast, he tweeted out something about he lost 100 followers because he checked. Obviously, he's not been streaming. He's been busy, as per his tweet or twit longer or whatever it was he put out. Basically said he's doing summer league baseball that he actually gets paid for and all this and the other. And he tweeted out something about in relation to the Twitch bots thing that he lost 100 follows. And he was like, "Oh, I guess I had 100 people, fake accounts like following me." I was like, and he says, "Y'all are the real ones, so I appreciate it." And I tweeted back at him, either that or 100 unreal people unfollowed. People who are like looking at it as, okay, he's not going to be live anymore for, the foreseeable future, like the next 6 months. I'm unfollowing him. And because of the fact that Twitch does randomly unfollow people, I had to go and check that it hadn't unfollowed me from him before I sent that tweet.
Yeah.
Because I didn't do it if I had. But no, luckily it hadn't.
Still had that little heart filled in.
Yep. Go and boop his heart, as Grandad says.
Yeah.
Anyway, enough of your Iron Banner loadout. I have got to say I am appreciating your Warlock fashion, considering I'm a Warlock main now.
Yeah, I do like that outfit. And
I just got the last piece for my Titan today.
Nice.
Silver. For Bright Dust even.
Bright Dust. Yeah.
Alright, let's go through the 12 then. Obviously we've got Guardian games coming up next week. Oh, there's a Platinum one now? Platinum wasn't last week, right?
No, I don't think
last year. Even.
Last year.
They just had bronze, silver, and gold, right? And they were bounties.
It's the playlist.
Warlock's got this. Hell yeah, Nagurski.
I'm rallying behind that banner as well this season.
Hey, all we just need to do is get all the other hunters. You guys are nerfed anyway. Come on over and play Warlock.
Yeah. I'm kind of interested in how. Well, obviously we know how it's going to work, but the new Guardian Games playlist, as you can just catch at the bottom of your screen there.
Yeah.
That looks interesting.
But one thing that's just already caught my attention is right below the medal values. We have we have to account for different class populations. So this year, the class that comes third place each day gets a permanent 10% bonus on scoring going forward. So, if all of the hunters quit playing, essentially, and like last year, hunters are in third every day from like day 3 till the end of the event, they will amass a huge bonus.
Yeah, and that is.
I like that change.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to coordinate, but if you get, like, let's say there are more hunters than any other class, right? And
we don't need to nerf them. That's the case,
mains, right? And pretty much none of them log in until like a week into the event, right? Or like 4 or 5 days, right?
Yeah.
They've been in third place every day and been racking up those bonuses, right? You get a 10% bonus there, then we get another 10% bonus there. I mean, it won't be 20%, it'll be 10%, so it'll be 1.1, then 1.21,
Yeah.
1.2, whatever the figures are. They won't just add up like 10, 20, 30. It'll be scale different, probably. I think I'm not
and
entirely
sure. It says it here. They basically say in here that they haven't nerfed hunters this year because of this new system they've got in. Hunters will likely win early on because of their population advantage, but as the bonuses kick in, the competition should tighten up quickly.
Yeah.
I'm liking it.
Enough of them boycott the first few days in order to get the bonus. But it's
alright. Guardian Games playlist.
Early they switch. Yeah. So another new addition. There'll be a strike playlist specifically for Guardian Games. I don't know what was this going to say. Group players together by class. So if you go in and do strikes on that, you'll only go in.
Yeah. So you have a chance to get more laurels because you get laurels based upon your class. So it's like you get 3 points, I think, if you pick up your class's laurels, and then like 1 point or 2 points for the other two.
Yes.
Something like that.
Check the modifiers.
Okay. Gold, silver, and bronze.
Yeah. The playlist will have gameplay modifiers based on the previous day's class standing. Right.
Ah.
So if your class was in first on the previous day, while you're in this playlist, you will have health, shields, and recovery increased, and your kinetic weapon will deal more damage.
That's cool. There are also negative modifiers added to the playlist, make things a little more challenging for the leaders. Gold class gets 2 modifiers and silver gets 1. These modifiers are themed around the classes. Your lower modifiers are themed around the classes that finished lower on the podium. So what if Titans win the gold, will have like this.
Okay, no. So let's
bronze
say
and the silver one. Or...
Let's say we're playing warlocks and we ace the first day, right? So we get gold. So we'll have the health, shield, and recovery increase, right? But we'll also have one of these bronzes and one of these silvers, depending on where the Titans and the Hunters are. So if the Hunters are in second, we'll have disabled radar and combatants don't flinch when damaged. And melee attacks deal more damage.
That's kind of cool. I like that.
Yeah.
And that means that it's evolving as it goes on.
Yeah. So I was worried when obviously we saw on the roadmap that this would come and that they'd just sort of like we'll throw it back in with sort of minimal changes and that'll be that. But no, it looks like they have done quite a bit of sort of rejuvenation for this year.
Yeah, it does. Nagurski says he's hoping it is so much better this year. I am too, and it does seem like it's gonna be. Oda says he hated it last year. Yeah, so did I. I felt like I was a hunter main last year, and I felt like I couldn't do nothing to help hunters catch up. You know what I mean?
Even on top of that, was like it was all just do this bounty, do that bounty, you know, do these
Yeah.
bounties while you're with other people of the same class to get laurels. You know, there wasn't really much that was actually.
Ah, wait, what's this? All Stars. Make sure you complete your Platinum Contender card before daily reset on Friday if you want to lock in your All-Star status for the weekend.
Introducing a new way to earn points called Contender cards. Pick them up from Eva in exchange for laurels, and you can have one active at any given. Oh, so this is sort of like you got trials cards, but for other things. Okay. Completed Strikes Crucible and Gambit will grant a gold medal on completion. Okay. A special platinum card that will focus on completing objectives. Completing a platinum card will earn you all-star status and a special reward at the next podium ceremony. So that's when you've got like the ceremony thing and the ending.
Oh, right.
So like, you know, we've got a few days at the end just like, hey, here's the awards ceremony thing that we didn't really have per se last year.
Yeah.
And we were like, well, you got the event, and then what the hell do we do for these 3 days? You know, what's the point of it? This is what it's for, so we'll have a little bit after each week.
Yeah, Otis, I did as well. He says he lost interest in Bounty Simulator. Same. That's why I didn't have Heir Apparent until they turned around and made the boo-boo of putting it in the thingy. And then Kit told me. And I was like, oh, I'm going to go steal me one.
Because like at that point we didn't even know it was a mistake. It was a mistake. Like they added the thing, and I was like, oh wait, no. Because I was looking at it, I was like, there was still a couple of raid exotics I didn't have, so I was like having a look at how much they costed and stuff. And then Heir Apparent was in there. I was like, oh, hey, Heir Apparent's in this thing, you know. And then later on, they took it out and was like, oh, that was a mistake. It shouldn't have been in there. I was like, oh, well, glad
we stole it. Yeah. As with any event, there will be new loot to grab at the start of the event. You'll get a new class item from Zavala. These are required to participate in the games. Your old class items won't work for this event, even though they still look cool, super cool. Well, I've got my Hunter ones. I don't have any of the others, so yeah, I'm glad that that won't work because I won't be able to pull them out. One thing I will say though is, I really wish they hadn't used Zavala for this, and rather used someone like Ikora that we don't go and see.
We don't already, see much of.
Because Eva comes in and, you know, she's the event vendor. Comes in every event, you know. Bake cookies for Eva, okay. You know, go into the Haunted Forest and grab candy for Eva, okay. This, grab laurels for Eva, like, makes sense. She is in a...
turning the character into a Simon Says, do this.
Yeah. She is, let's face it. So, it's a given that she's going to come with the event. But to turn around and go, okay, go to Zavala and get the class item, like, you could at least turn around and say, oh, you go to Zavala for a bunch of shit this season because of, you know, the connection with Presage, you get the quest from him and all that. Like, oh, you can go, you should go to Ikora and get this. Because either way, wherever you land in the tower, you've got to walk to Ikora. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, and then let me just answer this. Have they said whether the glow will change color depending on the shader? Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Or
no, they have.
Not other
they
gear
have
because the gear broke when you did it or something.
They have mentioned it for the Eververse set, I believe.
Right. Okay.
Otis, yeah, I think they should have incorporated Spiral Racing into this. There's enough people that keep saying we want it back. To the point where people went back and did a streamer racing league on Destiny 1. And they
if we get SRL back, I honestly don't know how I was gonna say I'll something, but I actually don't know how I'd react. I'd just be like,
I mean, anybody that has bought, anybody that has earned or bought always on time is gonna win every race. Let's face it. unless everybody in the race has got always on time, and then it's going to be contender. But
Unless
the
we
glow,
get,
no,
like,
but all the items supposed to, yeah, on this set, but on the Eververse set, the glow does change. I seen Glad tweeted about it, and Anubis just responded with Jacarina, which was quite funny. Gravity, what's happening in Destiny? Guardian Games is next week, and they've changed it a whole bunch.
I was gonna say just before when you mentioned the always on time, always winning, I was gonna say like that probably would do it, unless we get some new like racing specific sparrows that like have like the sole purpose of going fast. Like even if they're not that durable, and they'll take less hits before they blow up in your face and kill you with them, like just to go faster.
I think we do need stats and shit like that with regards to sparrows, to be honest. We need we've got a speed number. We need like a durability, I think, and a boost. Like, who's to say that you can't have a 150 boost speed with max boost stat and it go faster? You know, because you're constantly boosting.
That'd be an interesting dynamic, that, because if you had like
you can have different archetypes of sparrows.
Yeah, like you'd have some that would be like, you know, maybe slower but sort of more durable, and you can like power through groups of ads and not have to like worry too much. Or you could have ones that like go faster but maybe don't have as much boost because, you know, you don't like load of fuel and stuff or whatever. However you want to try and describe it. And then you have ones that don't quite go as fast but can boost for longer.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's like sort of try and balance, you know, depending on like where you're going or how you're racing and stuff. Like there could be some points that like, you know, there's a long ass straight and it really suits having a lot of boost. But then you got ones that like there's more corners, so like sort of having a shorter boost but that accelerates faster would be better there. You know, depending on how SRL came back and what you were doing with it and things.
Valister Hot Auric, that's the stepped into the war with the Cabal, right?
Yes.
Alright. So carry on. Sorry, I just.
Oh no. That was essentially what I was saying. But scroll down a bit, please. Please scroll down a little bit. Tell me what you think about this.
Oh my god, that's fucking beautiful.
I know. I want that.
One thing that have you got my stream playing sound for this?
Yes.
Good. I added this today. I added this today. For those who can't hear it, because I have since today I added a bunch. I also made it so that the sounds don't come through on the VOD, because there are a few that I may get DMCA'd on.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I just played the Zavala stepped into a wall with Cabal on Mars meme sound. Can't hear him. Oh fuck! I don't have Trigger Fire as a fucking source here. Never mind.
Oh well. Well, you know, yeah, we can hear it. We all heard it in our heads. Like I didn't hear it, but I saw the name come off and I knew exactly what it was saying. That's what
I've just realised. I looked at when he said he can't hear him. I was like looking at the sound bars, like Ava Media, Chrome, Discord, Mike. Oh shit, Trigger Fire's not there.
Yeah.
At least
we need to next time.
Hey, I have unlimited fucking points, so 750 is nothing.
Benefits of doing it on your own channel.
Alright.
But yeah,
I like these armor sets as well. I think they're the ones that they're on about, that the glow shades.
Glows, yeah. I, depending on what it is that I have to do, I might actually go on and push for that ornament, because that is cool.
Same. And then I may, depending on if I got money, have to buy one of these for one of the classes. Probably my warlock, if not my hunter. So we've got 2 sparrows. You got one. I'm guessing this one you can earn, and this one you've got to buy. Maybe. I don't know. And there's a ship. Yeah. 2 ships. Yeah, 2 ships. Tennis ball. Ghost. Nice.
And that emblem's not too bad either.
Which emblem?
Scroll down a bit.
Oh, hey. That ain't that bad either, yeah. I like that. This one.
Both, actually.
This one has made me want to complete all my fucking seasonal challenges now. I wanted to do it anyway for the fucking dust. Like, the huge amount of dust that you get, but it's also like, oh. Remember I said I didn't want a solo flawless, what is it? Hawk Moon's mission.
Oh, why can't I remember the name of it?
I can't either. Because, anyway, I didn't want to solo flawless it because there was no... It was a dungeon without a timer, but there was no benefit to it. I didn't get an emblem to show off like I did with Prophecy and Pit. Yeah?
Yeah.
And then, obviously, with Presage, they brought that. But you have to do the Master one. And you can do not only solo flawless, but it can be flawless in general. And now they've changed it so that you have to have your entire fire team go flawless. So yeah, that's going to be a bitch.
Harbinger.
But that's Harbinger.
Sorry.
That's it. Yeah. But then you've got a 25-minute fucking timer as well. So you're already rushing. That's going to cause a lot of death. So the way I look at it is like, I don't think there's even any point in going for that, personally. Unless I get, you know, essentially people to fucking carry me through it. But then you've got this, that is a challenge, let's face it. There's a bunch of challenges to do. 75, I think it is. Is it?
Yeah. 75 of the 78 that are available. So there's a couple that you don't have to do. You can skip over them. But you have to do most of them.
But it's like, this basically says, look, I grinded the fuck out of this season.
Yeah, it's basically like, look, you see all that there is to do this season? I did it.
Yeah. The same with, like, my blacksmith. The reason I have my blacksmith on my warlock 24/7 is because I can turn around and go, you know, you had to forge 100 weapons. That's 100 little mini quests that you had to do. Yeah, I did that. Pride.
Yeah.
Oh, I also have to get so good at Scourge that you flawless it. Yeah, I did that too. But what's this? You got the dinos and monsters versus monsters even.
What? Where was? Oh, right. Yeah. They had a
Future ornament.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is kind of cool and kind of actually could leave them open to a lot of trolling. Because they're basically open up. They've got 12 weapons, and they want us to pick 3. Which ones do we want to see ornaments on?
Hey Kirby. Yeah. I mean, I feel like Trinity Ghoul needs one that's more lightning based. You know what I mean? As Nagurski said in chat, Crimson, although Crimson and Red Death, you know, from D1, original skins look how they're supposed to. You know, you look in the lore of the guns, they're banned for a reason, and the reasoning is that they're modified in such a way.
See, the thing is that, like, a lot of these weapons that they put in this list is that we've identified 12 weapons as candidates, right? Most of them already have some pretty good ones already.
Yeah.
Like, Sunshot that they put in the list, that shouldn't be in the list. To me, right? Because they've already got some good ornaments on there that appeal to different.
Vigilance, yeah, Vigilance Wing shouldn't, in my opinion, either.
Street business, kind of, if you were looking at more shape type ones rather than literally just changing the colours, because that's what most of them do at the minute already anyway.
Yeah.
Same with Skyburns as well. Is that a lot of them at the moment are just, oh yeah, we've got a different decal on the side of it.
Yeah, I think.
So some of them should.
I get keeping the model basically the same, but I also feel like some of them need more related. So like with Cloud Strike, right? It's essentially some fucking alien shepherd stick, essentially, let's face it, that can fire fucking lightning. Yeah? Why don't we have something along those lines for Trinity Ghoul? It's basically the same thing.
Yeah, again, especially with the sort of the lightning thing.
Yeah. Hey Wiggy, how's it going? But yeah, like, so
I'm going to push that thing again through my bot because it's been a while, and we'll see if anyone has something they want to ask.
yeah. Then we've got the shader shredding, because obviously next season when it comes to essentially what I'm calling it is Armor 3.0, but it's
close enough, yeah. I can see that.
It's transmog. It's Bungie's version of transmog. All of the shaders are becoming permanent unlocks that you can just go, okay, I want to put this shader on this piece of armor, and I want this piece of armor to be this ornament, essentially. So they're basically saying if you have shaders in your inventory, get rid of them. Break them down if you want the materials that they give, whether that be glimmer or legendary shards. Break them down. If not, come next season, they're all just gone anyway. So you lose out on things. So there you go. Do with that information as you will.
Yeah. So we've got things that thingy. Oh yes, they changed the Nightfall, didn't they, to Proven Grounds, and they had clarified some things about what you needed to own to be able to play it and stuff. Which is probably why they did, because obviously if you look at it and go, well, I need to own both and I don't, then you might not have tried to play it. So now that's been clarified to give people a chance to play it. So I kind of see why they've done it. Sort of annoyed a few people that were like, okay, well, we're gearing up for like one of these strikes to be the next one, and it's just like, oh, it's different.
Yeah, I was actually one of those people in the sense of I was like, oh, it's gonna be Warden or nothing. Let me look at like old videos, and then Jarv put up a video as well. Jar Venus, you don't know who that is. He's from the Confluence clan that Grandad Gaming is in. And at this point, if you don't know who Houndish and Jarv are on YouTube, then you're living under a rock. But yeah,
especially if you follow Destiny 2 anyway.
Yeah,
which we would hope you do, since you stumbled across our humble little podcast here.
But yeah, so like he put up a video of like, oh, here's some little like spots that you can use in the final boss room. So I watched that. I was like, I might end up using one of those.
Yeah.
You know. And the same thing with like watching back old like Nightfall footage that people have just randomly put up. It's like, oh, okay, let me see how difficult it is, how people position themselves, and all this, that, and the other. Because I don't like. Typically, I will do the GMs with either Dune and Otis, or 5 and Dunes. So I like to sort of go into them being able to hold my own, do you know what I mean? And not be sort of dragging them down. And I have to say, like, it was great doing the Devil's Lair with Dune and 5 at the beginning of the season. Like, well, not the beginning of the season, but, you know, the beginning of the GM portion of the season, like not dying all the way through it, any one of us, until we got to the final boss room, and then Dunes died literally because me and Five shot an explosive shank, and me and Five were both Titans, so we sort of just tanked it. Like we almost died ourselves, but Dune being on his warlock, he was like, "Well, I'm fucked," and died.
Yeah. Some more known issues, some things going on with Guardian games.
Yeah.
Just to quickly round off what's left of the TWAB. So class items from last year won't work for the bounties and the laurels. If you get the class items from Zavala, you'll only get them at 1250. Get them from Eva instead. She's got 1300 copies.
Yeah.
Laurels, I wouldn't say that's an issue. Laurels don't drop on the ground; they're just instantly rewarded to players. That's
how it should be, in my opinion.
The next one's a bit of an issue though. Unrecovered laurels don't go to the postmaster, so any that do drop on the ground. So if you play in strikes or whatever,
yeah.
make sure to pick them up.
But here's what I was on about. Look,
appreciate that.
That's where I was on about. Is beginning season 14, overhauling the shader system. Be sure if you want any more information to hit the link in the TWAB. Right there.
The short of it is, as that subtitle says, though, dismantle these shaders. Maybe not right now, but just before the next season. Yeah. Get your mats back out of them, every last one. Because if you've got a shader in your collection, you'll be able to use it in the new menu.
Weekly known issues: Pit of Heresy, Solo, Flawless Emblem, Crimson Echoes, not tracking completions. Thank God I haven't done any more. People fall beneath the great improving ground strike from Trep. Excuse me, getting tired. We got movie of the week. Hey, Fallout Players got it.
Yeah.
And Lego Leaf Black. Man with 2 rifles. I'll be sure to check them out myself. I'm quite surprised Hath's Trials one didn't at least get like an honorable mention. That's sick.
Yeah.
And then Crow saying, Osiris and Saint please sign the adoption papers for Crow. I love that. That's brilliant. That's so cute.
Yeah. That's cool. Right. But that wraps up our TWAB. That comes towards the end of the episode, which means we only have a few more things to ask. And we do normally ask these to our guests. However, our guest today is also our host. I still can't believe you did that to me. We're doing a host spotlight, and I kept it from you right up until just after we started the episode.
I mean, there's a reason why the thing that says special guest is blank, because I had fucking zero clue.
You had no idea. The only like sort of hint you might have had was that before we started, I said that I'm not telling you until we're live because your response is crucial. It needs to be part of the episode. Yeah. So before we go on and do all of the usual plug away and tell everyone exactly where they can find you.
I mean, you're in one of them.
We are in one of them, yes. Yes. Okay. We normally would ask, if we ask you to come on in a future episode, who would you want to be on with, or is there anyone you have specifically in mind that you would like to see on the podcast? But with today being a host spotlight, we're going to look at sort of bigger and longer term. So I want to go past where we are after a year. So are you looking at like the way the podcast has gone and the people we've spoken to and everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Episode 53 and onwards, who are we looking at?
I don't know. Like, I like to have a few of the people we've had on already, like, come back on, and just say, look, what's changed? How are you doing now in comparison to, when we spoke to you last year? Obviously this being talking from 2022 standpoint. As Otis says, yeah, maybe a few celebrations with some friends who should, in my opinion, be a partner by that point. Speaking of which, one of the people I want to have on in these like coming months, going to the rest of this year, is someone who is making a push for partner, which is Pigeon. We've already mentioned Chaps and Grandad, who both are quite far, up there in average, like in the viewership that I see them get every day. Always averaging, from what I see, between 30 and like 50 to 70 people, depending on a given point in the day or whatever. So yeah, maybe a few partner celebrations with people.
Yeah.
There are a few. There's a few people on the list that I've yet to actually add to the doc list. One of which is Just Wipe It, because until Otis introduced me to him, I hadn't interacted with him, I hadn't spoke to him, but I've spent some time in his chat and chilled with him, and he's a fucking awesome dude. Played trials with him last weekend as well. Like, it was a lot of fun. And that's Crisscross.
Yeah.
So
I have,
and he has already been at one point. Otis was telling me he's already been close to being partner anyway. So that might be one celebration that we get to sort of celebrate.
Yeah. So just before the final closing notes and stuff, I have one final thing to say, and that is, Trep, you will be pleased to know that I don't have any more surprises like this planned until episode 52. And that is only if everything goes to plan. It probably won't. But I have something in mind for the last episode of the year, and I hope it goes right. I've got a while to plan it though, so it should be fine.
Okay, right. So let's reiterate the surprises we've had today. Okay. You kept the fact that you were doing a host spotlight on me a secret, and then I announced something that Otis gave me the go-ahead on announcing, which was
just wipe it. You guys are amazing, and you invited me to join, and I would love to. I might hold off on accepting for a couple of days and try and get some more games in with you guys before hitting the button. And obviously, like, let me old clan know that, like, I'm moving on and stuff, and that, like, we'll still play in things. Get everything all ironed out. But thank you so much for that.
There you go. Otis says no worries.
All right. So we'll round out the show. Trep, it's been fun the past few episodes with you.
Sure.
I'm glad I managed to pull this off. And
there you go. Otis says you're amazing, and we're building something, and we want you to be a part of it. So there you go.
Oh, thanks so much.
And I'm not being funny. I'm 100% fucking echo that, Otis. So thanks.
Yeah. I'm kind of losing my train of thought now, so I want to finish the point while I'm still.
We're paying you compliments, Kit. Take them.
Yeah. You've seen how I deal with compliments. It's not great. I tend to freeze up and shit with them. Anyway, while I'm still thinking of what I want to say, Trep, for anyone who is here and has been watching and listening up to this point and still doesn't know where they can find you, what are all your socials? where can we find you and what you're up to?
I mean, anyone who's live obviously is on my channel, which twitch.tv and Trep1 for the podcast platforms, and YouTube. Always linked in the description of the YouTube videos, saying come and watch it live if you want to sort of contribute to the conversation we have here when we do the podcast. I want to just mention Kirby says that Wipe It Clan is growing and loving it, so he's happy for us as well. Then we've got Twitter, at Intrepidus1. Pretty much easy to find me anywhere under that moniker. I need to start using my Instagram a lot more, and after seeing all the success that fellow creators and friends have been having with TikTok, I turned around to my missus when she started doing TikTok. I was like, I'm never gonna touch that fucking app. And then I've seen all this, how people are always commenting on Twitter. Oh, it's so great, great for growth and putting your content out there for people to see. And then obviously they can come and watch it live if they want, or they can just keep on. It's another avenue sort of thing. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna spend a few months on there, getting to know some of the some of the types of content that people put out on that platform, and then at some point in the future, probably, where are we now? April 15th, so probably around June, July maybe, I might start putting things up on there. But then I've said I'm going to start putting things up on YouTube and haven't. Literally the podcast is the only thing that goes up on there, so...
I was going to say, this goes up on there as a start.
But my point is, I've been saying I'm going to start grabbing clips and then editing them into little montages and putting them on. And I've been meaning to for the past 6 months. Yeah, 6 months, 7 months. Whenever it was, I got my affiliate anyway. In September last year, however long that's been. I think it's 7 months at this point. I've been meaning to make a channel introduction video. Still haven't done that, so
still on my list of things to do.
So I'm not great with organization in that sense. So the whole doc thing that we've got going because on the podcast is purely you. I contribute to it where I can, but if it was just me on my own getting people to come in and chat with me, I wouldn't have that because I wouldn't be that organized. So you do a fucking great ass job.
Well, I started that actually less as planning out what we're going to be saying, and more sort of a log of what happened in the last few episodes.
Yeah,
why I've kept...
and it's proved useful because we've referred back to it in episodes. Today, I've referred back to the one we did with Wig, and we've referred back to guests in the past with Sev and Fiend, and obviously Rafe with regards to the music. So I'm so glad I decided to start thinking about how we're gonna do this and then asking you to do it. I'm so glad that you also agreed to do it, because like I said, I don't think we'd have made it this far, to be honest. So I very much appreciate it, just like I very much appreciate all the people that agreed to come on, hang out, give us a little bit of an insight into their opinions on certain things. And I suppose as a closing thoughts before we raid someone, because we are basically at the end of our time.
Yep. Wrap it all up for us. Go on.
I appreciate everybody that's been on the podcast so far, and I appreciate anybody that will agree to be on it in the future. Just like what Otis said with regards to Just Wipe It. We're building something and we want you to be a part of it. Obviously, talking to you, Kit. It's the same thing with this podcast. I feel like we're building something, and I want to get as many members of my friendship group, Lee, Odis, Five, all of them that have been on so far, and people who will be on in the future, to be a part of that, so that if in 5-10 years time this podcast is, Joe Rogan, let's say, in comparison size wise, there's loads of people that listen to it and it's very popular and all this and the other, these friends can turn around and say, I was there at the beginning, and because I appreciate them for their support as much as they appreciate me for mine. So yeah, basically thanks everyone, and with that being said, we'll see you on the next one. And
that we will.